Marks. She sat a long time, watching the rain fall. Her needlework lay in her lap. The candle shone next to her, casting everything in that yellow pallor she had long tired of. It was a strong rain. She had been happy when she heard it begin to fall. But as it dropped hard against the stones, the sound of them came together in a hiss, and she wished it was over. She'd been trying to find a crack in the clouds where the sun shone through, but there was nothing, so she had to look down again. She thought perhaps she had nicked herself with a needle, but she hadn't been able to find the cut. Now it pooled on the needle point. I'll have to start another, she thought, before taking it up again. But then a new spot appeared. The candlelight made it rusty, but she had seen it appear, and seen that it hadn't come from her. She looked up and saw nothing. So she got out of her chair and climbed on it, put her hands against the wall and ran them up and down the rafters, but found nothing but what had already been there before. Dust and ash, she thought. And because there was no one to see her, she remained standing on the chair a few minutes more, just in case there was a change, but there was nothing. And so in her own time, she climbed down again. She stood, thinking hard, but not about anything in particular, just wondering why, as the rain pounded against the stones and through the open window. When she looked back over to acknowledge that sound again, she noticed the rain on the floor in the room, and she knew it was real when she touched it. Her whole palm to the floor, and it came back wet and gritty. She moved into the damp square of wet light to close the window to the rain and the sound, but she stopped dead with her wet hand reaching for the pane because the rain had changed color. She stood inside that damp square as the rain fell on her dress and beaded in her hair and stared at the shower of color that clicked and hissed onto the stones below and the walls above against her skin. Before, the day had been a gray haze, but now it glowed, pink and soft and blooming against the dirt and the clouds. And the sky was gold and lit the raindrops like rubies against the slate of the stones and the dirt. And when she looked down at her hands again, the rain reflected onto their paleness like stained glass. For the first time since, she didn't shrink against that color. She felt adorned. The day was rosy, like the dawn. And for the first time since the rain began, she could hear the drops falling one by one, and there was no more hiss. Just 100 million tiny voices calling out to her as they left from the heavens onto the earth and against her hair and clothes and face and against each other. The drops against her face and hands felt like kisses, and she yielded. They soaked into the clothes and hair and wrapped their cold around her, and she succumbed to the rapture of the change with all the gold abandon she hadn't felt since. She closed her eyes just once to let the rain course through her lashes like teardrops, and when she opened them again, she was standing on the ledge of the window. But for what felt like the first time, she didn't think, and she didn't wonder why, because she knew it all so intimately. She could see down to the courtyard in the rain, and the color was completely covering the stones and dust and ash below, and all that had been there had disappeared. In its place, there was only the glow and the bloom and the 100 million tiny voices falling into each other's embraces. She only stood there a minute, and then the rain carried her down. She kept her eyes open, and when she saw the color fill her eyes and felt it replace her memories, she was very happy.